timelier now more than ever. Through inspiration and action, this book provides the thirsty reader with a greater understanding of how we, as individuals, can positively affect change for ourselves and our collective humanity. I am Lois Herman, the author of Chronicles of Hope and the host of the Inspiring Hope radio show on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. You can find me at loisherman.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not reflect those of WSMN, its owners, and/or associates.
Welcome to Inspiring Hope with Lois Herman, a leading expert in professional coaching, clinical hypnosis, and energy clearing. Lois is an award-winning author of Chronicles of Hope. She has decades of experience in advanced hypnosis techniques, has conducted highly effective success coaching programs that have helped clients discover ways to achieve success, empower themselves, their families, as well as holistic practitioners to expand their practices. Get ready to be empowered with your host, Lois Herman.
Good morning, and welcome to Inspiring Hope. I am your host, Lois Herman, and I'm here to inspire you with positive messages and celebrate people who are making a difference in our world. When we focus our thoughts and energies on truth, honesty, and integrity, we create powerful shifts that cause us to be more positive and peaceful. As we lift our energy, we empower everyone around us. If we each do what we can to make small shifts in awareness, we create ripples of hope. Join us as catalysts for positive change for our families, our communities, and our world at large. I hope you are inspired by today's show. Happy Mother's Day 2021, Year of Change. And today I would like to honor our mothers, young and old, good and bad, happy and sad, living and past. All mothers do the best they can in any situation. Remember, the most beautiful flowers grow best when fertilized by nature's manure. Early life experiences are given to us by our mother. In the safety of the womb, we feel her heartbeat, we hear her breath, and sense her feelings. At the perfect time, we work together as a team to birth ourselves into being. As we draw our first breath, we look to our mother for nourishment, nurturing, and ongoing support. Many children receive extensive encouragement, while others gain guidance, and some are given more disciplined instruction. Each person gleans what is needed for their future life experience, to learn, to grow, to teach, to share, to love, and be loved. And children have never come with user manuals or learner's permits. Most of what a mother does is based on the observed actions or non-actions of her own mother. Our patterns, habits, and emotions are often passed down generationally from mother to child, who then becomes a mother. Some mothers change their actions based on the negligence of their own mother, striving to offer to their offspring what they had missed in their own upbringing. Yet even this change can be challenging with the absence of a solid role model or divine connection like Mother Mary. Most mothers share love based on their own vision of the world. They may come from a sense of survival, belonging, empowerment, or need to control. We can only give what we have until we seek to learn more. Some are kinesthetic, sharing touch, hugs, and gentle kisses. Others are more visual, observing what needs to be done and showing their love in ways that can be seen as beneficial. Some mothers listen to what sounds right for their children, offering uplifting words of encouragement, using their tone of voice to inspire and support. All mothers implant a sense of smell as we recall the scent of our favorite meal, cookies baking, or holiday fragrances. My own mother left this earthly plane 2 days ago. She's at peace now, after many years of trials and torment. I will always remember her as an amazing seamstress and quilter, remarkable ballroom dancer, incredible holiday decorator, a master baker, avid gardener, and world traveler. Though often misunderstood, she was incredibly intelligent and creative. She kept the family organized through multiple transitions as a military wife and mother of 4. She will always hold a special place in my heart as she gently makes her transition into the light. I know she was deeply worried about what is going on in our world today and was tired of the struggle on this dense earth plane. I was blessed to see the angels beside her, ready to welcome her to the higher realms of peace and grace. After many years of physical pain, she is now free to foxtrot and jitterbug with her lifelong partner, my dad, Fred. As we embrace fond memories of our mothers, let us remember the challenges they had raising us without a guide of their own. We must hold their real intentions in our hearts. Remember the things they did for us, little and large, and let go of expectations we placed on them. Mothers are human beings with struggles and sorrows that we may never know of. When we look to our mothers with compassion and appreciation, we can feel good that we chose them to give us the foundation for living our lives, being the best we can be. As we allow ourselves to release pain-filled memories of mistakes, missteps, and misdirection, we permit the process of forgiveness to lift our energy to a higher realm of peaceful acceptance. Remember the happy times, relish the goodness granted, and seek to hold the light of love in our hearts for our mothers and for our children as the imperfect mothers we often are. As we celebrate motherhood, recall all those who have nurtured us on our journey. Whether you have birthed a child of your own or were instrumental in raising a child, if you are the type of person who nurtures and cares for others, you embody the mother energy and deserve to be celebrated on this day. There have been several mothers in my life that nurtured me when I needed it most. I will always be grateful for these amazing beings. Remember, you can even be a great mother to your own self. Tell yourself everything you would like to hear. Find a photo of a younger you and place it on your desk and smile at yourself regularly. Tell the younger you. Let the younger you hear inspiring words of support. You are amazing. I'm so proud of you. You can do this. The inner you thrives on words of encouragement. Look into the eyes in the mirror and say, I'm glad you're here. You are awesome. You got this. See yourself as powerful, beautiful, and smiling with self-love. Feel the uplifting energy of appreciation and acceptance swell in your heart. As you see, hear, and feel these encouraging messages, you become that which you know in your heart and mind. Remember, knowing is best. It is the strongest. As we celebrate our earthly mothers, let us remember the greatest mother of all. In Chronicles of Hope, the collective guides say, not all worlds have their own spirit. Gaia is the spirit of this planet and cares for you all. In some sense, you are all her children. You are all made of her bones. Gaia is alive. Not all planets are. They tell us we must honor our Earth Mother and return to the ways of native people. Nature-based cultures honor and respect nature. They ask Mother Gaia for sun, rain, bountiful harvest, good hunting, and healing. Their practices are interconnected in ways that show us how to survive and thrive. My own mother often told stories of her Cherokee grandmother with a long dark braid and love of nature that has been passed to me. In a few moments, we will hear from Grandmother Blue Crow, a wonderfully wise woman, an expert in the ways of the first people. She will share some specific tips to help us shift our energy toward healing as we honor our Earth Mother. You are listening to Inspiring Hope with Lois Herman at WSMN 1590.live or 95.3 FM. Please help us share these messages, watch these videos on my YouTube channel or website, loisherman.com, and join our Hope community for support and inspiration at chroniclesofhope.net. Jesus tells us that Gaia is a good mother, although her spirit is suffering in modern times. She still strives to spur evolution. Gaia has nothing but love for her children, nothing but the best intentions for us. Humans seem to have lost the ability to hear her. This connection is the most important thing we must learn. The fundamental issue with humanity is one of misunderstanding our true eternal spiritual self. The real healing for humanity will take place when people understand they are spiritual beings having a temporary human existence and are interconnected with every living thing on this planet. Our lives are driven by mental and emotional beliefs that are usually based on our upbringing or social narratives, and can be incorrect, incomplete, or misguided. We can only hope to shift this perspective by inviting people to connect with their true selves. The question is, how do we open minds to new awareness? Gaia and others in the collective can help humans develop their spiritual selves. People need to experience nature to truly listen for and receive the message of inner peace. Once people affirm their true identity, old patterns will slowly dissipate, culminating in the fundamental knowing that they are enough. There is enough. We are encouraged to be open to the traditions of indigenous cultures that have long been misunderstood. Archangel Michael mentions Gaia's frustration and believes that in the near future we will see a drop-off in population growth. As people experience vast numbers of deaths worldwide, some will become more aware of how interconnected and similar we are as a humanity and a civilization. We must be more understanding of ourselves, each other, and our connection with Gaia. Today's societal madness is stimulating a new awareness among many. People are being forced to stop their indifferent robotic lives and return to nature, a practice Native American and other cultures have long embraced. The connection with our Earth Mother is deeply ingrained in history. We must strive to learn more. When humans think for themselves, respect our Mother Earth, become grateful for all they are given, and learn to ask for assistance, we will raise our vibrational energy and begin to shift civilization to the positive. We need to avoid giving in to fear and to trust the wise ones of the collective to guide us, and our Mother Gaia to help us stay ever present in the light of peace. Today I have the great pleasure of welcoming Grandmother Blue Crow, also known as Auntie to many. She is the quintessential mother figure who spontaneously mothers everyone around her. Whether giving witty anecdotes or telling fabulous stories, Grandmother is an enchanting gift to all who know her. Please help me welcome this wise medicine woman, an incredible businesswoman, mother, grandmother, and dearest friend. Welcome, dear Grandmother, to our show.
Well, thank you so much, Lois. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Oh, we can hardly hear you. Can we turn up the volume so we can hear her strongly?
All right.
I am honored to have you here, so happy Mother's Day to you for all those that you mother.
Thank you. Is that better? I turned it up.
Okay, and as did Allison, so it's a little bit better, yes. Well, I just want people to be able to hear you because you're amazing.
Oh, I'm gifted to be here on this earth at this moment. I'm so blessed and honored to be your friend, your dear friend. Thank you for that gift.
And thank you.
So I'm looking forward to this program today on Mother's Day, honoring the mothers in one particular day, although in the Native culture, we honor the mothers every day.
Every day, absolutely.
Yes. So I liked that you did the intro with the drum and the singing because it's reflective of what we know about Turtle Island, which is the native concept of North America. And some of the old pictographs and petroglyphs show the outline of the Turtle Island, which is North America, in their drawings. And I've always been curious about how they knew what North America looked like 2,000 years ago.
I agree. That's pretty fascinating, unless they, like you and I, in their spiritual travels, could travel up above and look down. They have the ability to do a lot of mystical things that some people on this earth plane are becoming aware of.
Exactly. And in the music, in the drum, we have always had the understanding of there being the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And, excuse me, I'm having some allergies. I apologize.
Tis the season.
Heartbeat, it is definitely spring. The heartbeat is at 60 beats per minute, and that has been known throughout history for the Native people. When we dance, that's the beat that we dance to. And the ideal heartbeat, as I understand it for humans, is 60 beats per minute. Mm-hmm. So very recently, which of course in Indian time could mean the last 50 or 100 years,
right.
It has been validated by scientists that there is a pulsation through the center of the earth, and can we believe it is at 60 beats per minute? So I am just loving that. Mm-hmm. And if you would be in agreement with me, I would like to start this program, my portion of it, as a Northern Cheyenne elder and grandmother, with a prayer honoring the Great Turtle Spirit.
That would be fabulous.
All right. Let's get quiet into a quiet space and set aside everything that's in our minds, all the things we have to do to get ready for Mother's Day, all the things we forgot to do or didn't do yesterday. It doesn't matter. And just be still. Great Turtle Spirit, I invite you into my life. I seek your lessons of tremendous patience. I seek your lessons of stability. I seek your lessons of the shore. Lead me along that place where water touches earth, the space between movement and stillness. Remind me that I carry all I need with me at all times. Awaken my senses so that I am prepared for opportunities as they arrive. Help me trust that all happens when and how it should. Shield me from harm and share your primal wisdom. Please help me remember that my home is within me, wherever I go. Mother Turtle, I call to you. Aho.
Aho. And grandmother, what does aho mean? I've been to many different native circles and powwows, and aho is a greeting that is used. Many people know of namaste, which is I honor the God in you or the light in you. What does aho mean in native culture?
Aho is not used by all native tribes,
Okay.
and indeed some people who use it at a gathering of a tribe that does not recognize that can put them at a little bit of an odds in feeling. For the people that I'm associated with, the Algonquin and many other of the northern tribes, aho means and so it is, or so be it.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of amen.
Aho.
Aho, yes.
Wonderful. And I know that the guides have long been telling us through these many years of working with them, you must return to the ways of the native being, of the native cultures. You know, that sounds really good, but we don't know. They didn't give us instruction. And I'm thinking that that would be something lovely for you to share, some of the ways that we could learn so that we could actually start moving towards that. Many of us know about going out in nature, but there's more to it than that. Can you share, give us a teaching today?
Oh, I would be very, very honored. Thank you, Lois. There are two ceremonies that I would be delighted to share, and the first one would be the smudging ceremony, where we cleanse our energetic field using typically sage, but more accurately, each elder has their own combination of sacred herbs that are given to them. For example, when I prepare my smudge bowl, I include sweetgrass, sage, cedar, and tobacco, the four basic elements that most Native people honor as gifts to us from Creator for ceremony. I also include sea salt because we honor all the waters of the earth. I include cornmeal, which represents always having sustenance. And I include bear root, which honors the feminine spirit, which honors our earth mother, Mother Gaia. I include also red cedar, which is from my people of the north, and three other elements that I put in that were given to me to include in my prayers when I was on my vision quest many, many years ago. So when I light that bowl to smudge, the aromas that come are very distinct to me. And certainly anybody who has already been smudged with sage, I consider that you might want to think about that as I explain how I do my smudging ceremony for me, for myself, personally. I first of all bless all of the elements, and I invite everything in to accompany my prayers as I'm smudging. I begin at the crown of my head to open it for spirit teachings, to open my receptors to hear what Spirit has to bring. I then smudge my third eye, which opens me for inner sight so that I can see way beyond what my eyes see. I can see and feel and hear and taste and touch all of the elements that come through the third eye viewing. I smudge my eyes so that everything I am seeing, I see clearly, without distortion, without fog, without pretension or judgment, just clear sight. I smudge my ears, both of them, even though one hears better than the other, so that I am able to hear the truth in the spoken words that I am receiving, so that I may hear more than what is just being said in words, so that I may hear what the intention that a person may be fearful of sharing, but it gets transmitted in their words with their understanding and their underlying message. I smudge my nose to have breath clear and true, to be able to breathe in all of the elements around me, to honor all of the scents and the aromas that Mother Nature provides us, all the flowers and the trees, and some of the less pleasant smells like the skunk, because it's just as important. I smudge my mouth to speak good words and speak the truth, to speak to honor all people, and to respond to what people are asking. I smudge my heart to be open to receive and give love unconditionally, without prejudice, without judgment, without thought, without decision, just open to give and receive love. I smudge my soul center, the solar plexus, and I like to spell it S-O-U-L-A-R, plexus, the seat of the soul, to be able to receive soul messages from both spirit and people alike, as well as animals, and as well as trees and stones and other creatures, because they all bring messages. I smudge my feet to cleanse anything I may have accumulated and to remind me to stand firmly on the ground, on Mother Earth, and to be connected to the Earth Mother amid whatever turmoil I've been walking through, for we are in a time of great turmoil. And I smudge all around my entire body to give me a veil of protection while being open to support others' energies. It's so wonderful to feel the change in my energetic field. When I do this, I become very, very still and very open to all of the elements that are given to us from Spirit and all of the accompaniments, all of my guides and my angels and Creator. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. It's like encapsulating a 2-hour meditation in a loving ceremony.
And it's because you're invoking all of the senses, the sense of smell, the sense of touch, the sense of sight, even seeing the smoke, and the sense of intention as you're focusing on each different center as you're smudging and shifting the energy. It's, to me, I would assume or get the impression it would invoke almost a trance-like state.
Yes, it can do that very readily. As a matter of fact, it's hard to not do that once you become entrained in it. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a true gift.
Yes.
And I will mention also that many of the native people, the societies in which they grow and live, are matriarchal societies. Mm-hmm. That even in the times of conflict between tribes, the council was held by the grandmothers to make the decision whether or not to go into a disagreement or whether to extend once more the hand of friendship. So that's a very important thing, and the assets of the tribes are held by the matriarchs of the tribe. Now, that's not true with all of the tribes. Mm-hmm. And the ceremony I just described to you is the ceremony that was given to me by my elders. Not everyone uses the same ceremony. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that I'm wrong and they're right, mm-hmm. or the reverse. It just means it's what we're given by Spirit through our elders.
And it's like different languages and different cultures. I know I've mentioned before that I've traveled quite a bit, and I remember being in the temples in China, and their ceremonial sharing involved the burning of incense. It involved flowers on an altar. It involved bowing. So there were similar threads of all different cultures, even though the words are different and the order of the process is different, but there's a communal or a common thread of celebratory ceremony that happens worldwide.
Absolutely. Richard and I were in the South Pacific for several months during our honeymoon, and we were on one of the islands. And we found it interesting that all of the countries we went to at that time, that was 1987, were in conflict. The natives were in conflict. They were wanting their land back. They were wanting their rights.
Yes.
And in this particular place, there had been quite an uprising, and when we were taken off the plane, finally, we were actually taken off the plane by guards with AK-47s pointed at us and thoroughly screened before we were allowed to take a taxi. In all the places we went, it was the only place we had a reservation, and when we got to the taxi driver said, "I'm so sorry, but this hotel has burned to the ground."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Oh, really?" Okay. So I whispered to my husband, somewhat cynical, which is not my nature truly. He probably has a brother-in-law that has a motel we can stay at. And the man immediately said, "But I have a brother-in-law who runs a beautiful hotel, and I'm sure I could get you in there." And I said, "Oh, that would be just lovely. Could we possibly drive by the hotel that we've already paid our reservation at?" He said, "Oh, but of course." And so we did, and indeed, all that was left of the hotel was the sign.
Wow.
So we went further and went to this wonderful, it turns out it was a timeshare, and we got this wonderful place, and the man honored our prepaid reservation at the hotel.
Really?
Yes, and there was a wedding going on from an American family. They were having their wedding there, and everyone was invited to the wedding. All of the people staying at the timeshare were invited to the wedding and the reception. So we went and enjoyed it thoroughly, and when the reception started, 4 very large men came out to sit at a drum, and they struck up the drum beat, and I knew the song. Their language was different, but I was singing it along in my native Cheyenne language. And I was overwhelmed by that. We were 10,000 miles away.
Wow.
And later the drum keeper came up to me and he said, "I think I heard you singing our song, but your language was different. What language are you speaking?" And I told him. And he said, "I am just amazed by that. You know, our people are all of one heart."
Yes.
And I said, "I know that more now than ever." So that was a wonderful example to me of focusing on the similarities and not the differences between peoples.
Exactly.
It's very, very important. Very important.
And there are so many, having, as you and I have both traveling to even different parts of America, of Turtle Island. There are different cultures, and yet the need to live, love, and belong is the foundation of most people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sadly, in today's world, the focus has changed, not to one of survival, but of success. And if we can get to the place where we can be successful in our survival and in our sharing of survival, we'll find great joy and much more peace and harmony.
We need to rise above that to the essence of connection and of true enlightenment and empowerment.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. There is another ceremony, if you would like me to share. I would be glad to do that.
I wanted to share with you the song that I played. I was looking for the right song, and it was the song for Sacred Elements.
Yes.
And because I knew you were going to talk about smudging and the directions and the different elements. I know this song for the woman's song for the water that I believe you had shared many years ago with me. But this, it just felt right to talk about the sacred elements, which is, I know what we
I
all
agree.
need to be aware.
It was perfect. Thank you.
Mm.
So the other ceremony I would like to share is the ceremony of the medicine wheel teachings.
Mm.
And again, the details in what I share are the teachings that I was given by my elders. Not all nations use the same colors. Not all nations use the 4 basic elements in the directions that I was taught. So I honor everyone's perspective of that. And when we're traveling and we go to a ceremony with another nation, another native peoples, I always follow their guidance on their directions and their colors and their callings, because I'm honoring their ceremony, not asking them to honor mine.
Absolutely.
So we start with the medicine wheel, and of course, before we do any ceremony, we always smudge to clear our energy field, to be open for the connectivity that comes from being in ceremony with each other. So we honor the 7 directions. There are many more than 7, but there are 7 that we typically honor in the medicine wheel ceremony. My people start in the east, and for us it is the direction of hope. It also represents the child period of our lives. We use the color yellow, which represents the sun coming up. Mm-hmm. And we honor that with the element of tobacco. Tobacco is used in prayer. What I was taught was, since humans are self-limiting, many times we don't understand that offering a prayer to Creator, which is simply a thought from our heart, we don't understand that it's been received if we haven't done something, because we're very proactive in following up. So when we offer the prayer, the prayer is not in the tobacco. The prayer is released. But when we offer the tobacco, either to a fire or to the Earth Mother, we are completing the action of releasing the prayer from our spirit to the Great Spirit. The next direction we go to is south, which represents the youth period of our lives, and it represents the spirit of love. We use the color white for the long, white, hot days of the summer, and we honor that with the element of sweetgrass. And sweetgrass braids are typically done in strands of three strands of 7, which is very ceremonial. That's another whole different teaching. Some sweetgrass braids are done in a 4-ply, and that's a different ceremony from a different people than mine. The next direction that we go as we travel in the direction of the sun would be west, which represents the adult time in our lives and also represents faith. We use the color red, representing the sunset. It's the place for us that the ancestors live, and we honor that direction with sage, which we use for cleansing. I didn't mention that sweetgrass is used to bring in the positive elements, to fill the gaps that we've managed to create by focusing on things that are less than positive in the south. And we move on to the north, which is the direction of the elder. It's where the elders and the old ones sit, and it represents wisdom. We use the color black, representing the long nights, and we honor that direction with cedar. We call in those from the above, Grandfather Sky, thanking him for all of the elements, the rain and the snow and the wind, and all of the elements that we do not control, seeking to understand that we cannot change the elements, but we can adapt to them, and we can survive in joy. We honor the below, Grandmother Earth, as we step on her, and we thank her for giving us everything that we need, all our food, all our water, and the association with all our brothers and sisters, the trees, the stones, the wiggly ones, the creepy crawlers, the birds, the four-leggeds, and us poor, pitiful two-leggeds. We honor them all and try to understand less and accept everything. And then we do the complete, the great mystery, Maha'eo, which connects us at a level of spirit. And we understand that when we sit in circle and call in the directions, there is a sacred hoop that is formed above us, connecting us for all time, whether we are still in physical presence or not. And we complete that circle by just sitting and standing in silence, connected, and then being gracious to say aho.
That was beautiful. And it was interesting how I have done feng shui in the past and used different colors for different directions. Again, that comes from more of an oriental perspective. And the depiction of the colors, as you're saying them, make perfect sense as well. And I also wanted to honor that when I moved into my new house, I don't know if you remember this or not, but the first time you visited me, you brought me a weave, or whatever you would call it, of sweetgrass, and you said to place it above a braid of sweetgrass, to place it above my entrance door, which it's still there to this day. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful, and it's to keep positive energy flowing in and out of your home.
Mm-hmm. And it does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, it is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, those are the two teachings that I had chosen to share today. If you have a little bit more time, there is a very short story that I would love to share that's one of my favorites that recently elicited a response from a 7-year-old that blew me off the planet.
I think I've heard this story before and have attempted to share it, but not in Grandmother Blue Crow style. So yes, please share your story.
It's the story of the turtle and the rabbit. So it seems that Turtle and Rabbit were sitting one day out and just being peaceful and quiet, or Turtle was being peaceful and quiet, something Rabbit's not very good at. And Turtle was just basking in the sun and resting, and Rabbit comes over and he says, "Turtle, do something with me. Let's play. Let's go. Let's do something. I'm bored. Come on. You're my friend. Help me. Help me. I can't do this alone." Turtle says, "I'm okay." Rabbit says, no, don't just lie there. It's a beautiful day. Let's go do something. Please, come on. Be my friend. You tell me you're my friend. Do something with me. Turtle says, "Oh, I'm okay." Rabbit's like, "Oh, I'm so disappointed. Come on." Turtle said, "Where are your friends?" "Oh, my friends are all off doing other stuff. All of them, all off doing the stuff. All the birds, the creepy crawlers, they're all busy. Just do something with me." Turtle says, "Okay, we can have a race." Rabbit's like, "Yeah, we can have a race. You're really slow. I'm really fast. We can have a race. Yeah, let's have a race. Good idea. Let's do this." Turtle says, "Okay, first one home wins." Rabbit's like, okay, I'm ready. You ready? You ready, set?" Turtle pulls in his legs and his arms and his head deep into his shell, and he says, "I'm home." So I had told that story quite recently, and after we finished and I was closing up, a young boy of 7 came up to me and he said, "I liked your story." He said, "I know what that story of the turtle and the rabbit means." And I said, "You do? How wonderful. I'd love to hear that." He said, "It means we're at home wherever we are." And I got all goosebumps, and I'm all goosebumps now, remembering that wisdom from that child.
Oh, yes. They have so much wisdom that's not been tainted yet. Yes.
Perfect. Such a perfectly loving child. And I have to add that at the closing of every time I tell that story now, because so many don't see that, adults or children. And we know that when we're first here on this earth, but we lose it with all of the additional experiences that we accrue on our own or through the guidance of someone else. Not all of them positive, not all of them negative. But I encourage people to eliminate good and bad from their vocabulary. My wonderful Reiki teacher, Linda, gave me this many years ago. Mm-hmm. She suggested we use the terms beneficial and detrimental, mm-hmm. because good is very cut and dry. You're either good mm-hmm. or you're bad. Mm-hmm. And yet what's beneficial for me may be detrimental to someone else.
This is true.
And vice versa. So I encourage people to think in terms of beneficial and detrimental and eliminate good and bad. I think you'll find it a much more peaceful recognition of where people are on their own journey.
And on this journey that we're facing in our world today, what do you recommend to people to provide themselves with beneficial and uplifting opportunities versus the detrimental exposure that many are facing in our society today? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, thank you for asking. I encourage people to take at less than face value what they're being given on the news, because the news is not always offering us the truth, mm-hmm. or at least not always offering us the full truth. Mm-hmm. We have a very specific core energy that can feel the truth for us. And I think if we can go within, Dr. Wayne Dyer once said, go within or go without.
Or you go without, that's right.
And if we can encourage people to find that place of quiet within themselves. Some people connect out in the forest. Forest bathing is a wonderful, wonderful experience. Some people connect by swimming in the waters. They find that inner peace from the waters, like being back in the womb. Some people have to always be in a noisy environment or they feel abandoned. And so whatever it takes to make noise, if you can find a way to make it a joyful noise, such as music that you like, particularly like, if it turns your mind off of everything that's detrimental in your world right now and helps you to refocus on the beneficial things. I recently read a blurb that I loved. It said, blessings always outweigh wishes. And I think when we're thinking about wishes, we're thinking about what we do not have.
Exactly.
When we're thinking about blessings, we're sitting in gratitude for everything we've already been given.
Yes, that's a beautiful thought. Yes. Focusing on the blessings.
It seems so simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. We live in a world of what we're missing, what we could have that's bigger, better, more, greater, more powerful, more beautiful, when really wherever we are is perfect for where we are.
I think that one of the silver linings, if there is one, and I'm sure there are multiple in the COVID situation, or the situation society finds themselves in now, is many people are truly appreciating more of what they have instead of wishing for more, because things have changed. So the idea of what gives one hope and gratitude and pleasure is a little different than it was 2 years ago.
Oh, I agree completely. And I hear people say, I can't wait to get things back to normal. I hope we never go back to the normal we had, but rather incorporate the new normal, which we now know is different from what we had and is different, certainly, from what we currently are experiencing.
Yes, this has all been a wake-up call to return to the old normal, the old ways of nature, of honoring each other and the spirit of all that exists around us.
Right. If we can substitute for fear, faith, or hope, it changes our reaction to what we're seeing and hearing. And if we can develop the real inner peace of knowing, my favorite expression is, it's all in divine order.
Yes.
That's not a cop-out. It just opens me to seeing the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. And staying in a state of grace with an expectancy that things are going to work out, instead of giving into the fear, which lowers our energy, which then co-creates negative opportunities. So if we can stay in that knowing that it's all in divine order and that energy of uplifting grace, then we can look forward to positive outcomes.
My husband has a wonderful thing that he says. He says, people are living in the land of what if. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that goes wrong? And my response with him is always, what if it doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know way back I had a minister gave a talk, and he said, sometimes we say, why me, God? And he said, I've asked that a few times, and God has always said to me, why not you?
Mm-hmm.
And well, that's rather humbling. Mm-hmm. So
We're
thought
each
that was
here with our own gifts, skills, and talents, and we've spoken about
right.
this before. We each
right.
have our thread that we weave in the fabric of humanity. So no two humans are alike. We're each here with our own gifts to share.
Exactly. And if one of our threads were missing from the tapestry, it would be a different tapestry.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not incomplete, mm-hmm. just different. Right. So I think we're focusing more on the deeper meaning of life and less on some of the tangible stuff that's really not important.
Exactly. Yeah.
So thank you, Lois, for inviting me today. It's the ideal Mother's Day gift. Thank you so very, very much.
You are the ideal Mother's Day gift to our listeners. I have a poem that was given from Chief Seattle that was included in the Chronicles of Hope, and I really want to also honor you in this last 2 minutes that we have. I'd like to honor that you were such a valuable contributor to the process of writing the books, holding our energy, keeping the positive, and inspiring the work to be completed. And one of the things, the gifts that was given to me was this poem that goes, humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together. All things connect. All things share the same breath. The beast, the tree, the man. The air shares its spirit with all the life it supports. And that's exactly what we were talking about. This is from Chief Seattle. Yeah.
Beautiful. There is an expression used by the people in Central America, and I believe it's Costa Rica, but I'm not positive at this point. I was at a grandmother's conference quite a few years ago, and one grandmother greeted me with "En Lakesh." And I looked at her and I said, I don't know that. That's new to me. She said, it means you are another me.
Ah, wonderful.
And the response is Elanin. And I looked at her and she said, it means, and we are both blessed.
Elanin. Is that?
Elanin.
Elanin.
Yes.
Elanin,
yes.
Grandmother Blue Crow. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Until
Thank
next
you so
week,
much.
Look up, stay positive, and be the light in someone's day. God bless.